Oh, hey there. Look at me. I've got my headphones on. I can be taught. Will I remember next time? Who the heck knows? But this time I remembered. I had my headphones on before I even got on the laptop. So there we go. One, two, three. Oh my goodness. Um, I'll just hang out, see if there's anybody there. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, so I'm going to. Uh-oh, there it is. Start by weaving in some more ends. I was gonna be done with this by now. It didn't happen. Here we go. I just thought I'd weave in a few more. I do not, however, if I do this, then I can't see the peoples, right? Ooh, no, 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 no. Let's make that not talk. Mute. Did I mute? Mute. There we go. Okay. Swipe left. Oh, look, there we go. All right. So I'm just gonna weave in a couple ends until, I don't know, I get a couple ends woven in. How's that for a goal? This is, in case you've missed it, this is the, mark my words, this is the last Christmas stocking that I will make that is not for my own flesh and blood who used to live in this house or who are the spawn. Spawn? That's not the right word, is it? Where did I put my scissors? Offspring. How about offspring? Ooh. Oh, crap. Did I just drop them on the floor? Probably. Let's get more scissors because I can do that. Yeah, I've retired from the world of making Christmas stockings. And wait, really? Oh, over here. Okay. I've retired from the, there we go. Trying to do things without being able to see them. I've retired, hi there, from the world of knitting Christmas stockings for people to whom I'm not related. And to people, yeah, there we go. For whom, yeah, grandchildren. I'm thinking grandchildren. I don't have any idea that I'll ever have grandchildren, but those would be a good bet for who gets the next Christmas stockings. So I have sent to the people I've been making Christmas stockings for all the yarn if they wanted the yarn and all the patterns if they wanted the patterns. And this here Christmas stocking that I'm working on right now, and by working on I mean I'm almost done and weaving in the ends, that is the last one. And I could have had this done. So it's like, here's how Christmas stockings work. Someone will say to me, hey, can you make me some Christmas stockings? And I say no, and then I do it. And then but they usually ask me, in a perfect world, they ask me in like January. And then I don't actually start till November. That is my MO. Just curious if anybody can hear me, by the way. And so let's see. That wants to go over here. Christmas stockings. Yeah, and so then I wouldn't start for, till November, and then I'd be like stressed out all the way up till the holidays because I needed to do the damn Christmas stockings that I could have had done in February. That would be silly. So now I don't ever have to do that again. assuming that I get this one done by December. Thank you, Fran. You're just also fascinated by watching someone sew an ends. So if I just make a little bit more progress on this, and then I'll show you. So every week we can sew in like 3 ends. We'll be done in no time. And then I can show you the things that I want to show you today. Yeah, it sounds very exciting. Only one dog, Jennifer? Jennifer came to the shop, gosh, that was probably yesterday, with her 2, I'm going to go with standard poodles, who were lovely, very excited, but you know, who wouldn't be in the yarn shop? I'm going to go there. So when I weave in ends, I use a sharper needle and I skim through the fabric. And I have like logic, but all bets are off today because I just want to get this done. Plus, it's not logical. It's a Christmas stocking, so there's angles and noses and beards and all kinds of stuff. And I like to go do hairpin turns and either go back right next to or in the same row or column, whatever, as Jennifer says, yep, standard poodles. It dawns on me that if you guys are watching this, you can also see people's comments and I don't have to probably read them to you. How many weeks have I been doing this? So there's that peak, and I'll do these 2 on this peak, and then we'll call it a day, because that's, oh my gosh, not a day, but we'll call it part of a Christmas stocking. Let's see. So sharper needle, I like to split through the plies when I'm weaving in the ends so that the tail that I'm weaving in is less likely to show. Where's that one coming from? Oh, over there. Is less likely to show on the front of the fabric because you can get like a little ditch from the front when you take a blunt darting. Well, when you take the strand that you're weaving in the tail, it's called a tail, Sarah, and you go all the way under the strands, and then it can make like a little dimple. Dimple, that's what I was looking for on the front, or ditch, but dimple is a better word, just because. Okay, so, and I'm just, diagonal seems like a good idea to me. I tried for years to have somebody tell me how to weave in Christmas stockings, how to weave in Christmas stockings, how to weave in ends, correctly. And it turns out, just as with everything else, there's no right answer. There are options, and some options are better than others. And so I feel better now that I have options and that I can choose whichever the option is that I want. That didn't really work as a sentence. And then when I'm cutting, I don't know if you can tell, I turn the scissor, whatever scissors I'm using, these happen to be pink birds of some kind. I don't know, chicken. I turn it sideways, perpendicular to the back of the fabric so that I don't accidentally snip the backs of stitches, which I have done more than once, which is why I do this. So the tail that I leave is going to be the width of whatever size scissor blades I'm using, if that makes sense. I don't trim it right up against the fabric because it'll just start to pull out right away. And then the reason that this one was knit with before, I reused some yarn and I'm just going to assume that it blocks out because it's wool, I think. Even if it's not, I'll make it block out. I'll kill it if I have to with some steam. But the wool I used from the green and down is wool. I think the stuff above was wool, but the original yarn didn't exist for this stocking that I'm finishing. So there was some yarn in the bag, but it wasn't the original yarn, so I don't know if I can trust the labels. We can look at it in a sec. Let's see if we can figure it out. So if it's wool, it'll block out, it should block out very nicely. I don't want to soak it because I never trust the red yarn in a Christmas stocking not to run. Red yarn can be naughty. Oops, okay. So there, I did the 2 peaks, and I'm lying. I lie often because, so I did the 2 peaks, but, oh, I did the 2 peaks. There's a little bit of red. There. So the 2 peaks are done. D-O-N-E, done. I have a little bit of, I have the messy Santa face ones to do on the back, and then I get to pull these to the other side. There's some Intarsia hints here. If you ever take my Intarsia class, you'll know what I did. And then I did the candy canes. Nicole. Oh, Nicole, you're working on a stocking. I'm sorry. Yeah, the candy cane's all done. Yay. And I will be able to do, so yeah, so I'll do it in, stages because I wouldn't want to do it all at once. That'd be crazy. But yeah, so I'll do the green and red and the red and white and then the and the toe. So that's 5. That one will be done. Do you ever count how many ends you have left? And then there's 3 on each of the Santas. And then those will be done. All of these others are ends or edges. And then we'll pull all the inside ones, which are really just these. Holy cow. So that was 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 28 ends, I think, ish. So less than 30, fewer than 30. And then I have to, then I'll press it or steam it or whatever the hell I'm going to do to make that. Most of it looks pretty good, but Pete is a little wobbly because Pete was, well, from Pete down is where I started reknitting. I was supposed to reknit from, let's see, we were partway through Santa when I got it, but they couldn't find any more yarn, and it's very old yarn. Here's one of the ones I was recreating. So you can see the green is different. So we didn't have any more of that green, but that green had been used down into the beginning of the Santa. It was probably down here. So I had to, since I couldn't find green to match, I had to see there was this green, but that doesn't match. Ooh. Here's somebody swatched with Santa, but that was a different green and different gauge entirely. So somebody else was trying this. This might have been some of it, but it wasn't enough. I think that's what I took out. And here's some, here's a label. See, look at that. Red Heart Knitting Worsted. Ready? 100% wool. Red Heart used to be the good yarn. And now it's the yarn we make fun of. So there you go, in case you didn't know that it used to be the good yarn. So this is, that's why I think this is wool, even though that yarn isn't in here. I have labels in here that are, is that mine? Nope. I think this is all from the person. Okay. So that's going back in there. Say goodbye to Pete's stocking again for a while. And oops, that goes in there too. What does this say? Okay. And then you can look at my beautiful face again. Hi. Okay. So, whoops. So there you go. I did some of the Christmas stocking. Good girl. And yep. And what I, yay, go me. What I want to report on today, let's see. I made a major decision. So last week, gosh, I have a big glare. Is that better? Still, no, it's a medium glare. Last week we looked at the temperature blanket. Did I tell you that it was really a sobriety blanket all along and I just didn't tell anybody? Um, and I had one whole strip done and I wanted to, and I had the other strip about a third of the way done, but not all the way done. And it was supposed to be 3 strips. Ooh. And the end of the year would have been August 3rd. And I got hung up on not enjoying making it. And then so I was gonna I had decided to maybe not make it, not finish it. And I felt very free. And then I was showing you guys last week, and because it had been in a bag for a while, my imagination had turned it into yarn that I didn't like, and it isn't yarn that I don't like. It is yarn that I do like. Um, but I had lost my what's going on with that stitch? This one? I had lost my love for the blanket. But did I mention it was my sobriety blanket? So I felt compelled to finish it to mark my the year. Uh, so you guys last week were like, finish it. You should finish it. I think you should finish it. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to finish it. Okay, I'm going to finish it. And then that was Monday because we do this on Mondays, we being you and me. And then on Tuesday morning, at noon, whatever time of day that is, let's call it noon, I had a meeting with some friends and told them that story. And they said, it doesn't bring you joy, don't finish it. Just don't finish it. So then I was torn again. And then Tuesday night, I had an appointment with my therapist. And she was kind of the one in the middle who said, it did what it was meant to do. It served its purpose. It gave you something to focus on in the beginning of that year. And now it's served its purpose and you can let it go. So, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should let it go. Apparently I'm very, the word that means able to be talked into things or convinced of things. Gullible? No, not gullible. Easily manipulated, maybe. So anyway, the second strip was only temperature blanket. The second strip was only this long, and guess what? I bound it off. Another problem with the reason it wasn't bringing me joy was because, as you might recall, somewhere in like either March or May, one of the M months, the weather station I was using to get the temperatures from must have gone offline because there were like 12 days with nothing, with no data. And I didn't want to fake it because I'm not that kind of person. I can't have 9 months and 28 or 9 days of good data and then jump over to, Okemos and get 12 days worth of data. That's not going to work in my head. I mean, it would make a blanket, but I would know it. So I already told you that, but then I forgot to mention, I'm pulling pet hair out. I forgot to mention all these ends that I really didn't know what I was going to do with. I don't want to weave them in. So if I was making a blanket, there's 3 strips being sewn together. So 2 of these sides would be sewn to something and then um, and I could flip one. And anyway, there'd be 3 strips worth of ends. So I did finally make the decision yesterday, Saturday, recently, to let it go. So I bound off the short strip, and so it's this big. And then I took the long strip and I broke it into, and by break it I mean I put some rows on the needles and cut out a row and then bound off the 2 edges, the different edges. So now I have that the long strip is now 3 strips, pretty much all the same size as the first strip. Whew, boring, Sarah. So while you're not looking, I'm trying to make everything fold the same way and I can't because I'm anal retentive. I can't do it. And this is another one. That was probably the fall as opposed to the blue one that's the winter and the orange one that's the not fall. But I started it in August, so whatever. There was a pandemic. So here they are. There's 4. I didn't fold them the same way. How weird is that? There's 4 pieces of knitting, garter stitch, that are bound off. I still have to figure out what to do there. Maybe you have suggestions. My thoughts are, and what's going to happen is they're going to go to a cat rescue, either the Humane Society or, because that's where almost all of my cats have come from, or my neighbor is fostering cats for Saved by, well, yeah, Saved by Zaid, which is one of the rescues that the cats end up at Constellation Cat Cafe, to which I have given a lot of money. Because it's you can go look at kitties there. And so maybe she would take them, or I don't know, or I can drop them at the cafe, or I don't know. I'll figure it out. But that they're going to go to kitty cats. So I'm not clear whether I could just not. It's not like it's not. It's the fringe is not. The ends are not even. Like, see, there's one blue one and then one more blue one. There's not evenly distributed. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if I used a color for a long time, and sometimes they're on the other side. If I used a color for a long time, then I didn't have a stretch where that one has a lot of, oh boy, that has a lot. That's scary. That one is. So options are I could tie knots and make it look like fringe and it would be fringe, but I don't know if the cat mats can have fringe. You know, a simple phone call would answer that question, but I'm one of those people who hates to make phone calls. I know I'm not alone in that. Or, yeah, I don't really have an or. I guess I could take my sewing machine, which is now up and running, thank you very much, and I could, oops, well, there's no point in doing it on that side, and I could just run a zigzag and a straight stitch, because I don't know what would hold, and then just whack that off. Or both. Probably if I tied fringe, I don't know. What should I do? Give me ideas. I could crochet around the edge, but I still have to deal with I wouldn't mind like just whapping out a crocheted edge, but I'd still have to deal with all the tails, so that doesn't really get me anywhere. It doesn't need to look any prettier. They don't need to look any prettier than they are already. So I don't care if it looks neat. I'm very happy that the kittens will have rainbows. But yeah, so that's what's happening with my temperature blanket. This was 1/3 plus a 1/9 of it. Look how pretty that is. I'm not having regrets. No, I'm not. Definitely not having regrets about that. And then I, have yarn left over. But I was probably going to have to buy more yarn too, because, I bought one of each color to start, and the year was longer than that many skeins of yarn. So that didn't work. Anybody have any ideas? Even if I machine sew, I would still snug up the ends first. Okay, who wants to call the Humane Society and see if they can have fringe or not, and then get back to me before I'm done here, and then I could tie them off tonight. Aren't they pretty cat blankets? I think the cats will look beautiful on them and feel very loved. And they're, washable if the ends get taken care of. So that was one thing I wanted to show you today. So I feel like a big girl because that's going to be out of my house, just like the Christmas stockings. Was I a big girl again? Yeah, the cats may eat the fringe. I know, that's what I was thinking. So, but I'm not weaving all those ends in, Fran. I'm just not. So I could machine sew it like you're steeking, right? And machine sew it a lot. Maybe I'll do that. Yep. See, Fran works at a vet, and they would frown. Do you work at a vet? Did I know that? I think I knew that. Yeah, I think I was already frowning on the fringe. That's why I'm trying to figure out what to do. That would be the easiest thing to do. So maybe machine sewing with a zigzag stitch so that edge stays stretchy. I've been watching sewing videos. and then, but not about sewing the edges of cat mats, and then trim the fringe off. Or, because I have some yarn left over, I could I think I have to machine sew, so unless I'm going to weave in all those ends. Ugh. I mean, you see how fast I'm weaving in the ends on the Christmas stocking, so it might be another few years for the cat mats. But anyway, so that's where that blanket ended up, is it's going to the kitties. Yay. And it's not like I'm going to be missing a blanket. Machine stitch the edges. Okay, zigzag, right? I think zigzag. Um, it's not like I'm going to be missing out on my blanket because I've been working on the one that I really didn't need, which is bringing me great joy. Whoops. Uh-oh. Hold on. Ugh, nope. Oh, okay. Plenty of room. So this is the Crazy Mill End, crazy. Ooh, there's my hook. Crazy Mill Ends blanket. I had some and then I bought more and now I'm making a blanket and it is bringing me many, 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 many joys. So the red at the bottom is where I started, and the red at the top is the ball I started last night, and that was ball number 7 that I started. So it's gonna lay on top of my queen size bed. I don't think it'll go over the edges, but it'll be a nice layer on top, or it can be on my couch. But it's soft. Oh, look at those beautiful colors. Oh my gosh. Yep. It's too hot now, but it will be nice and warm. And it's just double crochet. No, it's not. Yes, it is. um, you know, 3 of them. They're like granny squares, except it's not a granny square, it's granny stripes. And I tried to teach a class on granny squares recently and nobody signed up. So I'm regressing to granny stripes because it's so easy. Sometimes I count to 4, do a granny square, granny, every once in a while I'll hold it up and one of these will have 4 doohickeys. Because if you hold it up to the light, you can see that what's going on with that one? Ooh, there was a glob, but that's okay. I'm not allowed to edit. That's one of my parameters. A rolled hem edge. That sounds like more sewing. Tie and secure the fringe. Maybe I'll just tie it and I don't know. I'll see what I want to do. Obviously, I have no idea. So whip stitch the hem or machine stitch it. Okay. Machine stitch sounds faster. A rolled hem edge. Okay. Yeah. So this is me getting better at crochet. The edges are gorgeous, and I'm spit splicing between the things of yarn. I think they're called skeins or hanks. But look how straight that edge is. I'm not going to put anything on the edge of this because there's no ends, there's no tails. There's going to be one at the beginning and one at the end. I shouldn't lie. So it's not a cast on tail if it's crochet. There's the beginning tail. And then I currently have fiber up my nose is what I have. This is the one I wound yesterday and started. So it was late and I was like, I like yanked the red a little bit. I'm like, can I finish the red before I go to sleep? And I was like, well, the answer was no. I've been trying to, well, yeah, I don't really have a schedule, but I've been trying to work on it a little bit every night because it's just lots of joy there. There goes a motorcycle, which means my dog's probably going to bark. We'll see. So that's that. So that's just Crazy Mill Ends. I'm kind of aiming the colors a little bit, but not really. And I'm not allowed to edit. says me. I can't take out colors I don't like. So, because in the big picture, it doesn't really matter what's there. So that's that project, which is going gangbusters. Um, and then did I show you? I bought new yarn. Just FYI, the silk mohair that I showed you last week that I was equating to burnished metals, I'm taking that back to the store. I just don't need a 1,600 yards of mohair wrapped around me. So if anybody wants it, it'll be at the store after Wednesday. I mean, realistically, it'd be beautiful, but I don't need that much mohair wrapped around me. I don't go anywhere fancy that I would need that, but it's had a nice visit at my house. I think I showed you this before. This is some bamboo, 100% bamboo. Oh, sorry, it's not 100% because there's dog hair. 100% bamboo from, look at that color. Fiber Lady in Texas, somewhere in Texas. I just mailed them something. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm about to mail them something, so I should know. Twisted and dyed in the US. So they spin and dye the yarn. And this is 100% bamboo and it's about a DK weight. Is that true? It says DK / light worsted, but the gauge thingy says, can you see it? My hand's in the way. It says 18 stitches there at the bottom, which would be oh, yeah, that'd be a heavy worsted, not a light worsted, but whatever. So, because, I'll just make it fit. The, Mrs. Fiber Lady. I talked to Mr. Fiber Lady on the phone, David. Do I know their last name? Probably. And I bought the yarn from David, but Mrs. Fiber Lady wrote a pattern that I don't know the name of for a lace shrug. A shrug is the thing where you just knit the sleeves in the back. And it was, don't do that too often, Sarah. And it was really pretty, and they had one made up in this color, and this was an oops color. They had dyed it for someone, and this didn't turn out to be the right color, so they discounted it. So I snapped that up during one of the Stitches weekend events recently, and then this past weekend, this is Monday, so the previous weekend, a week ago, was another Stitches, and I'm learning how to do the vendor market, how to actually go to the vendor market instead of just call them up after the fact. And so I went to the Zoom vendor market while Mr. and Mrs. Fiber Lady were there, David and Michelle. And they had another oops yarn, and this time I bought 3 of them. And look at that pretty color. It's called Dark Raspberry. So that one, I was thinking, so I got the pattern to go with the green for the shrug, which, I don't have anything else to do, so I can start that at any minute. And this one I didn't have a plan, but I bought 3 because I wanted to make like a t-shirt, ish. It's the same yarn, the 100% bamboo. Makimo. They call it Makimo. And the patterns that used DK weight yarn that are summary say some number of yards, and so 3 of these is that number of yards. These are 335 yards, so 3 is 1,000-ish. 3,699 plus 15. 9 plus 9 plus 15 is 1,000. So that should be enough to do something with. There's a little shirt called Etta that you can look up. It's by Barocco. It's meant to be worked with Barocco's Summer Sesame, which is an acrylic yarn, mostly acrylic, I think I discovered recently. I have no idea what today is. It's Monday because I'm talking to you. Did I have dinner with Marilyn on Friday or Saturday? I can't remember. Holy cow. I don't know, but we looked up Etta on Ravelry, and Summer Sesame is mostly acrylic, which is fine, and it's pretty. It's got little blips of stuff, and it's kind of multicolored, but the one that I saw on a person was more muted and more kind of the same color, but with those little blips. And by blips, I mean like little fuzz balls. That cleared that right up. But it's really flattering. Okay, so I think it's top down. It's a yoke sweater, summer sweater, tee. It's a tee, but it's a yoke. And it had the lines of shaping were little lace, like leafy things, and they were very flattering. The placement of them I thought was very flattering. So yeah, so I wanted to make that. And I'm not sure that that bamboo is going to be the right yarn because it's nothing like the one that I saw, but that's a thought anyway. So there's that. Ready for the next exciting thing? Anybody have any questions? It's very one-sided. You're just in awe of the bamboo, I can tell. Customer service with Fiber Lady, Mr. Fiber Lady, is amazing, by the way. Yeah. They're just, I think they're lonely because, you know, there's been a pandemic. So, okay. Sip of beverage and then moving on. So I thought that with the Christmas stockings, I want to say there was one more, well, and the giant intarsia wrap that I'm doing for somebody that I'm still enjoying, but that needs to get out of my life also, and it's going to be, I'm not even halfway done with that. It's huge. It's huge, and it's going to be more than twice as huge as it is now, but I am having fun with that. So I thought that those were the only other things I had for other people to finish and get out of my life, but I was wrong. I forgot, I got an email saying, so how's the giraffe sweater coming? And I was like, oh, the giraffe sweater. I forgot about the giraffe sweater. So I had promised to do a repair, and then I forgot all about it. And we hadn't, last we talked, I was going to look for a yarn that matched to do the repair. So here's the sweater. It's an adorable intarsia sweater, and on the front, I think this is the front. Yep. On the front, it has a giraffe. Whoop. Hence the giraffe sweater. And it has a panda bear. Am I doing it the right way? That way. Panda bear. And he has a little, hold on. And this is a well-loved sweater that has gotten a lot of use and wants to live on. She wants to live on. Ooh, make it work. Okay. Look at that. Oh, that looked a little weird, but he has a little bowl, and I don't know what he's eating out of the bowl, but he's kind of sloppy. So that's cute. That's a panda. And whoops, that would be the other side. Who do we have? We have a zebra and a plant and nothing. Oh, and then we have a hole. See the hole? Whoop. Not a bad one. And on the other side of that sleeve, we have another hole, also not bad, and a fuzzy right there. Not bad, but holes nonetheless. And on this sleeve, we have a tree. Oh, wait, I missed an animal. No, that's the top of the giraffe. Oh, I did miss an animal. There's a lion up there too. Whoop. I think it's a lion. Whoop. Oh, and the plant for the giraffe, it's not a giraffe, the black and white thing is also a, I don't know, you could put a hanky in there. You could put a little flower in there. Oh, good. Fran says the purple color of the bamboo is beautiful and looked very good against my skin. That's good because you never know. And I haven't worn that color in decades, if at all. And right now I look kind of shiny, so I don't know, but we're going to do it anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to branch out with the colors. Doesn't always work. So we have 2 holes, not in this sleeve. So this sleeve, oh my goodness. Yeah, the tree goes all the way down. That's a bigger tree than I thought. So it has the tree on the sleeve and then nothing on this sleeve. And this is the sleeve that has the boo-boos. So there's a hole there and a hole there. And then we have one more boo-boo, which is that at the bottom, in a couple places at the bottom, actually, there is, so here's and there was a beautiful, cast on, what's the label in here say? Let me move my one of my beverages so I don't spill. The Eagle's Eye, hand knit, Shetland wool, made in China, dry clean or hand wash. Yep. The Eagle's Eye, I don't know what that brand was, but hand knit. It's a very cute little hand knit label. Whoop, whoop. There, see? Medium. There you go. It feels like, oh, I did something. Are you still there? Whoops. I'm not there. There I am. It feels like a Lopi kind of yarn, or there's one at Woven Art called Rauma, and it feels kind of like that too, more like Rauma than like the Lopi. So that's the kind of yarn it is. So you can see there. Maybe you can see. Kind of a little bit hairy. And we don't, oh, I didn't tell you what the other hole was. Ugh, Sarah, whoops, I did it again. When I put it on the keyboard, all kinds of stuff happens. So yeah, there's like a long tail cast on or not, but then there's a little issue. It got a little worn at the, that's the side seam. It is seamed. It's knit in pieces and then sewn together. Oh, I'm going to go with by hand and not by machine. Sometimes samples are serged. And here's the other side seam, and it's happening at that other side seam as well. Am I lining that up okay? So I had told her I would find a yarn that matched and kind of overcast the bottom and repair the holes. And we talked about a patch, I think. I don't know, because I had been listening to talks about mending. Anyway, I got this email from her saying, how's the giraffe sweater? And I was like, oh crap, the giraffe sweater. So there is no yarn in the Lopi or the Rauma at Woven Art in this color or anything very close. So what I thought today was, when I answered the email, that I might take black, because there is black, and just do like a little buttonhole stitch around the bottom I'll kind of repair the blue that's live stitches, even though it's not going to run because it's pretty felty right now, but kind of felting to itself. But I thought I'd take black and just do a kind of dense buttonhole stitch all the way around that rim. Will it still be stretchy though? Does it need to be stretchy? I don't know if it needs to be stretchy. Well, we'll do it not densely then. And then also, so that it matches, so that it doesn't look stupid, I would also do it, I told her, at the end of the cuffs, and then there'd be like a little, we pretend it's a fence, I don't know. And then for the holes, I said I would get a color. Where'd they go? Look, I fixed them already. There it is. Whoop. For the holes, I said I'd get something close, a blue that's close. There was a lighter blue and a darker blue. But I'd get something close and then repair it. And then I said I would duplicate stitch. You ready for this? Some of the little green leaves on top of where I repaired it to hide the fact that the blue doesn't match. I mean, I guess I could technically just repair it in green, couldn't I? Hello. But maybe I'll do that, and then I don't have to buy blue and green. Yeah, it's pretty worn. You can see. And I did take a class in visible mending, and the answer is if it's worn through in one spot, it's ready to wear through around that too. You can see that where it's dropped down here, that those strands are pretty, whoops, skinny also. So, yeah, so maybe I just need to get green yarn. And I didn't, it can be, and black for the bottom, I still think. Yeah, because, there's, on this side, there's the, what's happening on my watch? Oh, it changed to rainbows. There's the panda on this side and the zebra on this side. So, there's black on both sides. So I think a little bit of black couching. That's not what I meant to say. buttonhole at the bottom. I-cord. I'll be crocheting my Afghan tonight because I know how to do that. So yeah, so that needs to be worked on. And once I figure it out, it shouldn't take very long. Just like with the temperature blanket. So that's a lot of random stuff. And then what I need to do next is figure out what happens next on. I haven't looked at this for a while. This guy, ta, because the class meets Saturday. I have 2 classes on Saturday. One is this class, where when last we met, we made sure we had the steek started correctly for the sleeve. So there's the steek being started for the sleeve. And then I let it sit, and I'm supposed to have done math, and I haven't done the math. See, there's the other one. Whoop. That's the underarm. Is it? Yes. And then we have to figure out the black is a good idea. I think so too, because I just can't match the blue. Yeah, so I have to figure out the math for that. And then, that was supposed to be done up to the shoulders for Saturday. And obviously it's not yet, but maybe that's what I could do tonight. I don't think I'm going to get it to the shoulders by Saturday. And then we were going to open the steeks, which will be fun. And we're going to try felting the steeks, which is exciting. I haven't done that yet. I watched a video though, so I'm confident that I can't screw it up too badly. Yeah, so that'll be a new thing. And then also on Saturday, I have my sweater design class, which is the striped cardigan, which you've seen, I think. And I also haven't touched that. This guy, you've seen that one before. And the reason I haven't touched that is because I'm pretty sure it's not gonna. Let's look how pretty that is. Ugh. I'll have to try it again. I think it's too small. Not because I didn't do the math right, but because I ate too many cookies and I've gained some weight and things are bigger than they used to be. So, yes, you know how you get to the point where I have to think about whether I'm making the right size for that, and I have to figure out the math for the vest, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do the repair, and I have to figure out how I'm going to take care of the fringe on the temperature kitty blankets, and I have to weave in the ends for the stocking, which is not math. I can just do that. So maybe I should be doing that, or I could just work on this because I don't have to think about that. And that's when we start a new project, is when we have 15 projects that we don't know what to do with next. So yeah, that's it. Tonight I have a Zoom call with a friend, and while I'm Zooming with people, I work on the Intarsia wrap to get some progress on that. So there's been a lot of Zooming, and I'm making a lot of progress on that. Someday I'll show it to you. And yeah, that was a lot of random stuff. That's all I have for you today. So I bought yarn. I'm returning yarn. So I think the universe is balanced there. And I'm giving up a blanket, but I'm making a blanket. And I'm fixing holes in sweaters and putting holes in sweaters. The steeking, ha! See what I did there? And weaving in ends on the stocking and cutting off ends on the blanket. I feel like everything's balanced. I don't know. I'm making shit up at this point. So I'm going to go walk the dog. It's a beautiful day out there. Oh my gosh, I just realized that Tippy isn't wearing any pants. Sorry. Whoops. Just cover her up. I was going to work the other day. I'm like, where's that long black skirt? And I was like, oh, I think it's on one of the mannequins. And I went and ripped it off the mannequin and wore it to work. And now she's naked. So don't look. There we go. There we go. Now you can't tell that she's not wearing any pants. Yeah. So I don't know if I announced last week, I am teaching Entrelac for stitches next month. Starting on September 11th, I think. So that'll be easy to remember. But 10 hours actually from I don't know how to do Entrelac to, oh my gosh, there's so much you can do with Entrelac. That's what I should have named the class. So that's in September, and I don't have anything else scheduled right now because I have no I need somebody to tell me what to do. So if you want a class, let me know. Shoot me an email, sarah@sarahpeasley.com. I'm going to go now, walk the dog, eat some food, and then work on the Intarsia wrap while I Zoom with another friend besides you guys. Okay? Thanks for being here, and I will see you next week.